Hello, welcome. My name is Amanda, and I am going to teach you 4 critical shifts to avoid overwhelm as a special needs mom. This is a transformational class free for you who are tired of putting their needs last and ready to start thinking about how can I make some shifts, how I think, how I do things to avoid feeling overwhelmed and start working on more self-love as a special needs mom. So, this training is for moms of special needs children who want to start making themselves a priority. I am determined to challenge you, to help you level up in your life, and help you understand that you deserve the same love and care that you give to your child. So, you want more self care, but you feel like you have no time for yourself at all. And you want support with the emotional challenges of being a special needs parenthood, and you want to make yourself a priority, but sometimes you lack the motivation due to mental exhaustion and just not having anything left after being a special needs mom. You struggle with feeling isolated and overwhelmed. You want to prioritize your needs, but you feel like you have no support or help as a caregiver. Who can relate to this? It is the biggest challenge I think we have is just we are on our own and very little support, even from family. So I want to share with you before we get started my secret pocket tool. And this is just proof that you're amazing as a special needs mom. So this is something that I think of. And so I just think it's fun. So anyway, I guarantee there's a time since becoming a special needs mother that you've shocked yourself on your ability to stand up for your child, make sure your child gets the things that they need, the care that they need. And so what I like to call my back pocket tool is there's a few times that I did this that I was like, oh my goodness, who are you, Amanda? I don't know. I didn't know you had that in you. I want you to think of those moments. For me, there was a time I went to the doctor and they didn't ask any history at all. They didn't know anything about my daughter's genetic condition or our health or medical complications. It was very poorly handled. She was sick, and I knew exactly what she needed. And what treatment had worked well for her in the past, and her doctor was out of town, so we had went to a different doctor. And the doctor came in and said, well, I'm sure this is probably the first time your daughter's just been really sick. And my mom was with me, and she likes to tell this story of me standing up and saying, if you would have taken the time to understand our situation, you would know that that's not the case. And out came this like mom that like, I wasn't rude. I was just very like sticking up for my daughter in the situation and basically letting them know that I didn't appreciate how they handled the situation. So I want you to remember this moment, whatever that moment is for you. I have several of those moments, but when I'm feeling weak or overwhelmed or struggling in life, I put those on I call it my back pocket because it gives me the strength to keep going because I know that that's me. And even though I'm having a moment of weakness, I'm still this strong, amazing person who's gone through so much and dealt with so much. And I want to remind myself that continually that I got this, I can do this. And so I want you to use this back pocket tool in your life and think of times, write them down or just put them in memory. And anytime that you're struggling, pull that out and remind yourself, hey, you know what? I am this person. I am strong. I can get through these hard times. It may take a little bit, but I'm going to do it. And so you are amazing. Just remember that. And I'm so proud of you and all that you've gone through because I get it. It's not an easy journey. And I know how hard it is. And I know that you've been through some really difficult times, but you've also made it through. And you should be really proud of yourself for that. So if you don't know me, my name is Amanda. Like I said, I'm a special needs mom. My daughter was born with a genetic abnormality that's rare. She's 24 years old, so I've been through the whole journey of childhood and school years and IEPs and transition program and moving into adulthood and everything in between. And it's just been a journey. And I love being a mom, but I also am really proud to support other special needs moms with self-love and share what I've learned over the years of being a special needs mom. So let's get right into the training. We talked about shifts that are important to make as a special needs mom to help you start dealing better with the overwhelm and adding more self-love into your life. And the first shift I think we have to make as special needs moms is we think that taking time for us means that we're taking time away from our child. And there's this mom guilt that's huge. And this is just not true. And I want to kind of go over this. So, excuse me, we believe that for our child to reach their best potential and to thrive, we have to work twice as hard as other moms. And this may be true, but we become consumed with it. And we put this constant pressure on ourselves to do more, always need to be doing more. Otherwise, if we don't, we feel like we're failing as parents, right? How many times have you turned down meeting friends or not taken the time to relax and read a book because you feel like, oh, I should be working on something with my child or working on therapy, or maybe skipped out on enjoying a relaxing bath? Does taking time for you make you feel guilty or stressed because you feel like you should be caring for your child or helping your child or teaching them or doing something for your child? As a parent of a child with special needs, we have a big to-do list. And if you take out 30 minutes here or there, is that going to put you and your child even further behind? The fact is that taking time to re-energize will actually give you more energy to maximize the things that you do, the time that you have with your child. Let me know if you can relate. When I take time for myself, I feel more refreshed, more motivated, more eager to work on things, and I show up different. I show up with more energy and happiness and focus on my child than I do when I'm just struggling and I keep going. Forcing yourself to keep going with no time for yourself is not doing you or your child any favors. So this screen right here is a mom with her special needs child in the cute little wheelchair, and it's going to get really busy. So I know this is a busy screen, but I want to show you all the things that we do for our child. We make sure they have their medication, that they're learning things, they're going to school, they have their equipment that they need, they're getting baths, they're getting enough sleep every night. You get them to therapy and doctor's appointments. They have social time with friends. They're eating healthy. You're doing all these things every single day for your child. But this is the mom, and this is the things that we're not taking the time to do for us. We do all those things for our kid, but we don't even do even close to the amount of the things that we need to do for our child. Are we reading? Are we educating ourselves? Are we taking our vitamins and minerals and nutrients? Are we getting enough sleep? Which is tough to do as a special needs mom. Are we working on self-care? Are we exercising? Are we taking the time to spend time with our friends, our spouse, our significant others, our family? Are we doing the things for us that we make sure that our child gets to do? We actually can improve our energy, and energy is a big thing because we need a lot of it as special needs moms, by plugging ourselves in, kind of like we do our cell phones. When we take the time to plug ourselves in, we improve our mindset. We feel more purposeful in life. We're allowed to work more on self-care. We take action in our life because we have this new energy that allows this all to happen. Recharging our battery is so important. And when we do, we're more focused, productive, happy, mindful, energized. Taking intentional time for yourself can actually give you more productive time with your child. It's time to say yes to you and recognize that taking time for you does not take away from your child, but actually benefits you and your child. Okay, so shift number 2 that we need to do as special needs parents is our thought process is we believe that there's no extra time. I can't even tell you how many times I've thought this myself, and I've seen it in Facebook groups and other moms saying, there's just no time. I have no time for myself. And we tell ourselves this over and over and over to the point where we start believing it. And the reality is, it is true. Especially as moms have a lot on their plate, leaving little time for anything else. Exercising, date night, or even watching a movie can feel impossible. Even doing one thing for ourselves can feel impossible at times. You're already overwhelmed as it is, and it's just not realistic to add anything extra to your day, right? Many times when we think about self-care, it can feel discouraging because we think we have to do a lot, or we think we have to have a lot of this additional time. And because we're special needs moms, the reality is we don't have a lot of time. So we have to really shift how we think about this. Our life is different from other families. And so the problem is that when we focus on the fact that we need this more time issue, it feels impossible. And then it feels overwhelming, and we already know that we're maxed out, and then there's no time. And so we have this big to-do list. And then we think, how am I going to add self-care onto the to-do list? Because there's just no time. We make the mistake, though, of thinking that we need this extra time when what we really need to do is get a better understanding of how we want to spend our time. So instead of focusing on, I have no time, I have no time, I have no time, I think we need to shift into thinking about, if I did have time, what would I want to, how would I want to spend that time? What would I want and need to feel happy? Learning to be intentional with self-care means that we have to start reflecting about this, and we have to start planning ahead. We have to learn to take control of our day instead of letting it control us. This requires a better understanding of what we need to feel happy and what self-care means to us. And so I want to challenge you to start focusing every time you notice that I say yourself, say, I have no time, I have no time. I want you to switch that focus into thinking, okay, if I did have time, what would I need and want in my life to feel happy again? And what does self-care look like for me? Because it's very unique for each person. Using the same ingredients or techniques that your friends use or moms who don't have special needs kids use is unrealistic for us. We can't do it. We don't have the same challenges. We don't have the same life, and they don't get it. And so we have to recognize and let that go, that and recognize that not only is being a special needs mom different, our children are different, but the way we care for ourselves has to be different too. We look for all the ingredients we think we need because we use the same ingredients we did in the past. But what we really need is already inside of us. You will feel better if you add more life and intention into your day rather than gaining extra time. I'm not saying extra time wouldn't be nice, because trust me, I get it. But if you are more intentional about your life and more reflective, instead of focusing on what we don't have, it's time to focus on what we can do. It's not about more things to do, but creating the space and energy and moments for reflection into our existing day, for more love, thinking, dreaming, reflecting, and just being more present. And like, how can I make this day the best? How can I do special things throughout my day that make it better? So I tried to make these little graphics fun, but it's not about extra time. I mean, again, it would be nice to have extra time, but that's not realistic, right? So what can we do? It's about discovering ourselves again, because we get lost as special needs moms, and then we focus on our limitations instead of really focusing on, well, what do I need? What do I want? And so it's a journey of discovering yourself again. And here's some ways to discover yourself again. Your self-care ingredients. When you focus on, you may think, well, gosh, what do I do to discover myself again? I don't even know, like, where to start, where to begin. And this is a good place to start. You focus on what you need and want in your relationships to feel happy, and what is missing. What can you do differently? Not just what is other people can do, but how can you step up? How can you show up differently in your relationships? What do you need to feel more satisfied? What's disappointed? What can you add and do differently? Then hobbies. What did you stop doing? Maybe you listened to music and danced around the house before and you stopped doing that. How can you add more music into your life? How can you start reading a little bit more? What hobbies do you enjoy? Do you play instruments, play the piano? not all hobbies we can't do all the time, because if we need to be able to go for a bike ride and we need caregivers, that's not realistic. But how can we start thinking about what is missing? And then when we feel like we've learned what's missing in our life, that's when we can start figuring out and coming up with a plan of how to add more. So you go through this list of your self-care ingredients and you think, okay, each of these categories, relationships, hobbies, self love, spirituality, my finances, my health, my passions, my purpose. What is missing? What do I need and want to feel like happy in life? And if I get to 5 years from now, what would I feel disappointed that I wasn't doing or working on or adding into my life? You don't, I personally don't want to live a life with regrets. I don't want to go a year and think, gosh, I wish I would have done that. Why did I not work on that? Life is passing us by, and your dreams and hopes and wishes matter. And it's important to start really reflecting on, what do I need and want in my life to feel happy? We need and deserve to do more of what lights us up. The truth is that self-care doesn't have to require a lot of extra time. We get so focused on that extra time piece that we give up. We don't even think about anything else because we think it's just impossible. But really, it's about becoming more mindful about ourselves and our passions that help us with self-care success. Okay, let's move on to shift number 3 that we need to do. As a special needs mom, we think we need to sacrifice our dreams so we can become our child's caregiver. I am so guilty of this. I did this for so many years. And have you ever felt like you had to put your own personal wants and needs on the back burner or give up on them completely now that you're a special needs mom? Or maybe you should just settle for this new life as a special needs mom and give up hope that things will ever get better. Has this feeling left you feeling like something is missing in your life? You may feel like an unmatched sock at the bottom of the laundry basket that everyone forgot about, because this is us as a special needs mom. We are the unmatched sock, and everything else is put on top of us. As time goes by, more things get piled on top of you. It's the worry about our children. It's the therapy appointments, the endless doctor's appointment, the mental exhaustion, medication, loneliness, challenging behaviors that our child has. All these things just get piled on top of our needs, our priorities, on top of us. We feel overwhelmed a lot. There's no support system, no friends, no social life, no help. We go to IEP meetings. We have endless amounts of laundry and chores and cleaning and meals to prepare and kids to feed. And more things just get piled on top of us. We have no freedom, no time to just run away, take vacations. We're constantly caregiving. We get little sleep. We're isolated from everyone. The anxiety is definitely there. And it's just constant stress and worry about our children. You would never allow your child to be covered under all these piles like we cover ourselves. You would fight for them, and it's time for you to fight for you. Imagine rising up out of the laundry basket and throwing off all the piles of laundry on top of you and taking back control of your life. It's time for you to find yourself underneath all the layers and recognize that you deserve the same love and care you give to your child. So you may be saying, that's great, but how do I find my matching sock piece? how do I get all the layers off of me? And how do I rediscover what I need and want in my life again? And this is about making these mindset shifts of how our old way of thinking, our limitations that we've limited ourselves. Have you ever heard the saying that special needs families, if you are also special needs? And it's true, we do have limitations as families and as caregivers and as moms of special needs children. But when we focus on these limitations, it doesn't allow us to move forward in life. It keeps us limited. We have to come up with new ways of thinking for ourselves. And that's where these mindset shifts have to come in. And when we make those mindset shifts, it takes us on this journey of rediscovering ourselves and rediscovering this new version of yourself, because we're not the same person that we were before, and we can't do things the way we used to do. And it is a discovery of discovering what we need and want now in life to be happy, and also what can we realistically do with our limitations, because we can't do the things we used to do. It's just impossible. So what can we realistically do that's going to make us happy? And then not just stopping there, but challenging ourselves to actually do some things differently. It's all good and nice to think about it and to think about, oh, yeah, I should do that. But to really step up and say, you know what, I deserve this. And I'm going to challenge myself to start doing things differently, take action differently in my life, and show up differently in my life instead of sitting around and wishing it was different. It's important to live your best life and live a life with no regrets. You deserve to have dreams, goals, desires, and passion in your life. Being a caregiver does not mean you give up on yourself or your dreams. We may have to pivot and adapt how we do things, but we do not give up. All right, so let's move into this last shift that I want to talk about. And as a special needs mom, I said this before, but I think it's a big thing. And I really want to focus in on the fact that we focus on our limitations instead of possibilities. Special needs moms do have a lot of limitations. And I'm not saying that we don't, because it's truth. It's a fact. We have way more limitations than a mother of a child that doesn't have special needs. We lack support from family and friends. We struggle with finding caregivers, respite care, and programs that help us with our children. Self-care options are limited to what we can do at home. We feel like we have no mental energy to give to ourselves. With so many limitations, we should just give up on the idea of self-love, right? I mean, with no support system, lack of freedom, and no breaks, why even bother? The reality is that we do have limitations as special needs parents, and we cannot change this fact. Focusing on our limitations keeps us stuck. We have to shift our focus onto what we can control. This starts with our mindset and our beliefs that are holding us back. When we shift our focus from our limitations to what is possible, everything shifts and the potential becomes endless. We can now see opportunity and get creative with how we start adding more self-love into our life. When we focus on limitations like no family support, no time, no freedom, no caregivers, and look, I'm not pointing the finger at you. I am totally guilty of all these things. I still have times where I focus on my limitations, and I have to remind myself, Amanda, that's doing you no favors at all. It's not getting you anywhere. But when we focus on our possibilities, we reflect on how we can do things differently. We work on our mindset and our coping skills. We find potential where we previously saw limitations. We're more realistic with what is possible, and we recognize that we can do this with or without support. You know, I don't feel like I have a lot of support either. I'm mostly the caregiver of my daughter. And so I'm very limited with what I can do with my freedom. And I've still started focusing on what can I do then? So nobody can come here. What can I do? And this is unique to you, but it's something that you have to start looking at. And you can't do that until you start working on shifting your mindset on these thoughts and processes that we have. It's a habit, you know, our brains are habits, and they're habits for a reason, because otherwise we'd have to learn how to eat and walk every day. But unfortunately, the habits also can become negative. And that is how we think, our mindset, how our mind works. It all becomes a habit. And so we have to recognize when a habit is not serving us and how to move forward. So to gain more life happiness, we have to change the story that we're telling ourselves. We have to change this narrative in our head and this habit, this negative habit pattern that we have going on. This is again recognizing that we are limited, but it is still possible. We just have to change our approach. Okay, so I'm going to switch to a different slide show to finish this out. We're almost done, so hang in there. I'm going to, let me just change over here to this next little slideshow I prepared. Here we go. So what I want to share here is kind of the method that I came up with to help with all these shifts. There we go. So I came up with a method I call to help you with all these mental shifts. We've talked about all these ways of thinking that limit us or hold us back. And so I decided to come up with what I've worked on for myself, what I've come up with, how I've decided to start making myself a priority. So I called it Make Yourself a Priority Method. And this is the solution I created when I recognized the importance of making myself a priority in my desire to level up in my own life and really put what my needs, my wants as valuable as what my children need and want. And I it's hard to start doing this and it's hard to make these shifts, but it's so important. So here's what well, let me first say, do you want to learn about my Make Yourself a Priority method? If you don't, and you feel like you got this is the time you can check out. But I'm going to go forward with kind of the method I came up with and how you can use it in your life. So if you are yes, 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 do you want to learn about my method? Then please hang around and I'm going to teach you what I have come up with here. So here's the overview. I kind of talked about it earlier, but this is what you learn with my method. You learn how to focus on your mindset, you prioritize how you think, change the way that those thought patterns that you've had before, change the way you cope with dealing with a special needs mom. And so that is the first step. The second step is rediscovering you. Rediscovering your passions, your purpose. And we're going to go into each one of these, but this is the overview. But rediscovering your passions, purpose, who you are, what you want and need in life to feel happy. The next step is taking action in your life and how you can do that, what you need to do to start moving forward. Remember, I said it's all good if you just think about it, but you really have to start pushing yourself to do things differently. Otherwise, it's pointless because your life is going to stay the same. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And the last one is maintaining self-care as, again, it's a marathon, being a special needs mom, and we have to learn how to maintain self-care through the ups and downs and challenges of being a special needs mom. So let's go into each one of these. The first step is prioritize your mindset. If we don't prioritize our mindset, we are setting ourselves up for failure. We have this weight. So at the very top, there's this weight. And we have all these daily caregiving demands, and it leads to mental exhaustion, which often leads to caregiver burnout, and we often feel unhappy. But there is another way to do this. We don't always have to lead to caregiver burnout and unhappiness. If we learn to use different and new coping strategies, then we could become more empowered as a special needs mom. We can't get rid of the daily caregiving demands. And honestly, you really can't get rid of the mental exhaustion. It's going to happen. But you can change the way you cope with the mental exhaustion and become more empowered with the way you live your life. So I like to say, excuse me, I just need a drink here. Okay. I like to call my mindset coping vagels, like the Kegels, but I call it vagels. And so this is what I share and how to cope with being a special needs parent. And when I reflected on how have I survived these last 24 years, I went through and reflected and I thought, okay, what did I need? And these are the things that I feel like help me with my mindset, with coping, with just life of being a special needs mom. And the first one is venting. Having someone to vent to is so important. The next one is acceptance and learning to accept all these things in life that come along with being a special needs mom. The next one's gratitude. And this one is so key because I feel like it's really, really helped me be able to live the life as a special needs mom. Love just means self-love. How can you have more self-love in your life? Exercise doesn't just mean physical, but mental exercise, working on your mindset, your coping, your mental health, and also adding in that physical exercise is key to happiness and health and making sure that you're cared for. And finally, S, self-pity. People laugh at me and they're like, really? This is your way of working on your mindset? And yes, it is. Having times where you allow yourself to feel the emotions and the weight of all the challenges that you have as a special needs mom is key. And so inside my course that I've created, and I'll share with you in a minute, I go into these very deep. There's lessons on each one of these. I talk about each one. I tell you the importance and how to add these into your life. And we go through each one of these categories. If you struggle with any of these um, things, then this is very helpful for you. But honestly, you can take this list and start working on how you can do this in your own life. How can you find somebody to vent more? How can you work on acceptance in your life? How can you add more gratitude to your life? How can you add more self-love? What can you do to add more exercise in mental health exercise? And how can you take the time to allow yourself to these pity party moments to feel sorry for yourself? But if you want more help, I have an option for you at the end. I'll tell you about my course I have. But honestly, I'm here to teach you. And so this is what I've used. And it has been key in my ability to cope and become, um, deal with the challenges, I guess, of being a special needs mom. So I love this quote. It says, if you change your mindset, you have the ability to change your whole world. And this is so true, you guys. I keep saying, we focus on our limitations, but when we focus on the potential, even if it's a very little potential, even if there's just 5 minutes extra in your day, it can change your whole world and how you view your life and how you live your life. Becoming aware that your mindset is the most powerful factor for our success and happiness is the essential first step for growth. So I have worked with a few special needs moms, and Deborah gave me this quote, and she said, "You're so helpful to so many. God bless you and the love you generously give. I love what you do. It's divine work." Okay, so let's move on to the second step in my make yourself a priority method. And that is taking the time to discover yourself, your passions, your dreams, your goals, and to reclaim that control over your life. The thing is that we get lost into special needs parenthood. We get lost because not because we chose to, but because the demands of caregiving and our sick children and their therapy and the things that they need can totally consume our life. And it makes sense. It's not your fault. It just happens. And then all of a sudden you realize, wait a second, I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't know what I want. I feel lost. I'm not taking care of myself. I don't know what I need and want to feel happy anymore. And that's what this step is all about, is taking that time. Imagine this, waking up and having more clarity about your life and goals instead of feeling discouraged because you have no plan or idea of how to begin or what to do to work on yourself anymore. This step includes getting more clarity. And again, this is exactly how you do this. You can take this slide right here and spend time on your own figuring this out. How do I get more clarity about what I want and need in my life? Why do I want to do this? Why is this important to me? Why do I want these goals? Why do I want this in my life? Why is it important for me to work on myself and what I need? If you notice in the middle, the goals is the main key here. It can be as simple as, I just want to live a happy life. That's my goal. Or it can be something like, I want to learn or I want to write a book, or I want to start exercising more and get healthy. It doesn't really matter what your goals is, but my course that I created called Unleash the Power of the Special Needs Mom goes deep on all these steps. And I have trainings and I have a workbook, and we go through each one and we get really clear on what is it that you want and need in your life to feel happy. Why is this important to you? And then we talk about visualizing this and how we can add this into your life. And then if you'll notice, there's a superpower. I feel like we have, especially as a mom, developed these superpowers. But we also have unique gifts in our life, in our unique skill set. Some people are really good at organizing. Some people are really good at um, making lists and planning, and other people are good at more other things. I don't know. But so we really dive deep on what are your unique gifts? What are you good at, and how can you use those gifts in your life? And then we really talk a lot about habits. And I talked earlier about mindset habits, but also that our daily habits, like what are we doing each day to, and how can we change our habits to help us work on our goals? And then another thing I talk about a lot in a section is called roadblocks, because we have unique roadblocks as special needs parents. And I get those roadblocks, I understand it. And there's a whole section on, I don't know if you've ever done this, but like, let's just say you decided to start, you wanted to lose 10 pounds. That was your goal in the middle. Um, and so you got really clear, you were excited, you knew why, maybe it was for a wedding or a family reunion or something, and you visualize yourself, you're like, yes, I'm going to look so good in that dress. And then you started changing your habits around this goal. You started exercising, you started eating better. And then 2 days in, your kid gets sick and you can't work out. You totally have to put things on pause. Your child needs more time. You got to take them to the doctor, and you get discouraged, and then you quit because you're like, what's the point? I can't even, every time I even try to work on myself, I keep meeting these roadblocks. And so we do have a lot more roadblocks as a special needs parent. And I discuss all that and how to overcome those roadblocks in your life. By recording your dreams and goals on paper, you set in motion the process of becoming the person you most want to be. Put your future in good hands, your own. This is basically saying, allow yourself time to dream and reflect and think about, what do you want and need in your life to be happy? And what kind of person do you want to be? What is your dreams and wishes? And instead of letting life just pass you by, start taking control, take it back into your hands, take the reins again. When you don't set clear goals and intentions in your life, you're giving up control of your life. So this is my friend that I've been Facebook friends with for many years now, over 5 years. We were in a fitness group together online. I live in the US, she lives in Australia, but I think she's amazing. She has a special needs child as well. And I just reached out to her because she has joined a few of my things for special needs moms. And she sent me this, and she said, they say a dream without a goal is just a wish. Our wish is starting to become a reality. With Amanda's coaching and challenges, I was able to create a vision, set a timeline, and now my 9 months, we're almost there. She's amazing because she's a bodybuilder and she sets goals and has a strong vision of getting there. But I love that she felt like my challenges and my things helped her be able to work on creating a vision for her family. Okay, step 3 in my make yourself a priority method is all about taking action. Taking action in our lives means that we're actually finally doing the things that matter to us. It's one thing to get our mindset right about it and then write it all down of what we want, but then we got to move forward. We actually have to do the thing. So there's steps. You have to start doing steps to take action in your life. And here's 3 big steps that you have to take. And you have to discover how you can be more productive as a special needs mom. How can you incorporate into your already limited day ways to start working on those goals? And then there's success habits. And the habits, again, are key, but you have to learn how to work on the way you think and plan and organize your life to be successful. Again, making a plan and also prioritizing it is key to taking action in your life. So action is the foundational key to all success. You have to be able to take the action or nothing happens. Having the right mindset and plan means nothing if you aren't willing to start taking action. Here's Gretchen. I coached her for a while, one-on-one, and she messaged this back and said, I'm so grateful for this program. Amanda has been such a blessing to me and ultimately to my family. I've shared many of the things I've learned from Amanda with my friends, both with special needs kids and without. Okay, last step in my make yourself a priority method is maintaining self-care. And this is essential for long-term happiness of special needs moms. So right in the center, self-care. But what does self-care do for us? Well, when you work on self-care, it gives us more energy. We feel more happy. We cope better. We work with our kids better. We have more success. We feel more confident. Our mental health improves. And it all just flows together. Self-care is like the key ingredient to all success, all your ability to want to work on your goals. So self-care is so important. Self-care is essential. I know you guys have heard this, but you have to put your own oxygen mask on first to be able to care for others. You will struggle with life happiness if you aren't willing to work on long-term self-care. This is Nadia. She is another special needs mom who is a coach, and I have enjoyed working with her. And I just recently did a training with her the other day, and she's super sweet, but she said, I'm so thankful that I found Amanda. I would highly recommend working with her. So we are at the end of the training. I want you to just have a few more things to share. If you take one thing away, I want you to know this, that you deserve to make yourself a priority, which is why I call this the Make Yourself a Priority method. So the big question now is, how can you apply the same method in your own life and start living your best life? It's time for you to take back control of your life. It's time for you to finally believe in yourself. So here it is, my course. The enrollment is open for Unleash the Power of the Special Needs Mom. And I want to give you a bird's eye view of what this course is. I already kind of went over my method that you learn inside the course, but here's what you get access to when you take my course. You get my Make Yourself a Priority method. You get self-love support, and you get a fast action bonus. So that Make Yourself a Priority method is my method that helps special needs mom cope with the emotions of being a special needs parent, takes you on a journey of self-growth, self-love, and to help you find yourself, discover your passions and purpose again, teaches you how to regain control of your life by taking action towards your goals. And it shows you the importance of self-love and taking the time to focus on you again. The self-love support, you'll get access to additional courses. I added into the course my self-love challenge I did. There's a workbook in there. You also get access to the inclusion advocacy and IEP for special needs moms if you don't already have that. Some people have already signed up for that because I offered it for free for people. But I do have additional ebooks and workbooks and happiness journal, self-love journal. There's lots of things inside this course. You'll also get the fast action bonus, which I'm not sure you remember, but I talked about this caregiving success guide. So I created this guide. It's a PDF. It is basically showing you how you can add caregiving success. You can discover ways and ideas to find caregivers. This guide offers you self-care ideas if you can't find caregivers, but I just try to get really creative with ways that you could get caregiving support. So you will get that included into this course as well. So here's what you get inside Unleash the Power of the Special Needs Mom. You get that caregiving success guide that we just talked about, my self-love challenge, which is a 5-day challenge to start adding more self-love into your life. I also have in there a 30-day goal setting challenge for those of you who are really focused on specific goals and want a little bit more help with goal setting. And then also that inclusion advocacy and IEP for the special needs mom, which is just a course that is focused on supporting special needs moms. And it's a play on words. We all know we focus on inclusion, advocacy, and IEP for our children. And this is doing that for you as a special needs mom. So here is what my course costs. The total cost is $97 for the course. And you get everything I talked about, the Unleash the Power of the Special Needs Mom. It comes with a workbook as you work through the mindset and the goal setting and the taking action. You'll go step by step. There's videos. It's very easy to follow. But you also get that self-love challenge, the goal setting challenge, happiness journal. There's a couple of ebooks that are called Recharge Your Body and Happiness Starts With You. That is in the course as well. So we're not just talking about a course, and it's a way to transform your life. You're going to learn lifestyle changes to help you feel more happy, hopeful, passionate, and excited about your life again. I know you remember Natalie that I just talked about. I think she's amazing, but she said, I truly believe if I hadn't found this wonderful group and embarked on doing one of Amanda's challenges, we would still be stuck in our loop and be going through the motions like we have for almost 9 years now. This was the push that not only myself, but my husband needed to create change. And she also said, special needs moms can do great things if we want it bad enough. I highly recommend Amanda's group and challenges, and her energy, wisdom, and understanding is what makes this experience unique. I just want you to know that you're capable of anything. Becoming a special needs mom transformed you into a braver, bold, confident person who would do anything and everything to fight for their child. And it's time to use that same fight and determination for yourself. So you can sign up for my course now. And I also have a 30-day money back guarantee. If you hate it, you don't like it, you don't feel like it's helpful for you, money back guarantee. So there's no reason to not go for it and try it. If all this course did was finally help you start adding more self-love into your life, would it be worth it? If all this did was help you feel more happy with your life and cope better with the daily emotional challenges of being a special needs parent, would it be worth it? And if all this course did was give you a step-by-step framework to start working on your goals and live your best life, would it be worth it? So again, the course is $97. I feel like it's a great price for all the things that I've included in it. And I really wanted to be able to support other moms like myself. So again, there is an option for a $97 one-time payment, or you can also do 6 payments for $20 if you can't afford the $97. So this includes everything that's in it. Both payments, whether you pay the $97 or $20, you get access to all these things: the happiness journal, the caregiving success guide, the make yourself a priority method, my self-love challenge, my 30-day goal setting challenge. Everything's in there for both payment options. And so the people that sign up with the link will get that caregiving success guide for watching this training. If people buy outside of this training, they don't get that caregiving success guide. Only as a part of this training here. So anyway, if you have questions, please message me. You should have a link to both my on my sales page. There's a link to the $97 payment or the option of the 6 payments of $20. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me. I would love to be able to help you. And I would love to hear what kind of challenges you face, or if you related to this content, or even if this training you found was helpful. Again, I teach all this stuff in depth in my course, but I just told you everything that's in it. You can take this, you can watch this again and do this on your own. It's not impossible. But if you want to go deep, if you want to take the time to really reflect and go deep and have the workbook and all the things I prepared and take you step by step instead of you having to think about it, let me guide you through it. I get your struggles. I know your challenges. I know that you can buy self-love stuff and mental health support and coaching from other people, but not everybody gets our journey. And I feel like that's what sets me apart. I also worked in mental health for the last 3 years as a PA, and I have been there with lots of patients who have struggled with anxiety, depression, and I really tried to incorporate some of that into this training as well. You get access to everything all at once. There's nothing is held back. As soon as you sign up, you'll get immediate access to everything. You deserve this. A lot of people say, well, what if I don't have time? Well, you have lifetime access. So if something comes up the next 30 days, you don't have time to get to it, that's fine. You have access to this information for forever. So it's not going to go away. And once you buy it, you have it. And let me know if you have any other questions. Those are the most common questions I get is how do I know if this course is for me? And it's for you if you're a special needs mom. who has struggled with self-love and taking time for yourself, or feeling like you've lost yourself as a special needs parent. Um, and I think we just don't take the time to work on ourselves and allow ourselves to even think it's possible. We give up before we even start. We think, well, it's not going to happen for me because my child's too complicated. And I'm here to tell you that my child's complicated too. She's never talked. She's always worn diapers. I've always had to do everything for her. I feed her, I lift her, I carry her, I take her to doctors. And if I can do it, you can do it. If I can figure out a way to start making myself a priority and work on the things and do the things that matter to me in my life, then you can too. And you deserve it. You deserve self-love. You deserve the same love and care you give to your child. And I just am really passionate about other special needs moms um, taking the time for themselves. I've been in so many Facebook groups, and all I see is questions about, well, my child needs this or my child needs that. And I get it, because we want everything. We want our kids to be happy. We want them to be healthy. We consume ourselves with it. We it just becomes us, and until we realize that, wait a second, like, I haven't done anything for me in a really long time, and in fact, I don't even know what I want or need to feel happy. And so I really hope this training, even if you don't buy my course, has helped you in some way with the way you think about self-love, the maybe how you move forward in your life, what you do next. I really want and hope that for you as another, from one special needs mom to another. I want you to feel like you are important, that you have value, that you have something special to give and bring to the world, that you have something to share, you have gifts, and you deserve to do that. It's not, that doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't mean that you are going to be a bad caregiver. It just means, in fact, I feel like it makes you better. It allows you to feel like you can show up in a different way. And when you show up in a different way to your caregiving, you have more energy, more happiness. That impacts your child. It impacts the way they respond to you, the way when you show up with low energy and disappointment about life, and you're unmotivated, and you just are like, another day, I get no help and no support, and I'm just tired and I'm exhausted. That impacts your child. But when you show up and you're like, you know what, I'm going to crush this day and I'm going to make the most of it, and I'm going to incorporate some things that are important to me, and I'm going to take time for myself, and I'm going to give a lot of energy and focus to my child, those energies are totally different. And I think we forget that. I mean, it's kind of like when we go on a vacation and you get like finally like a day or so to yourself, or even an afternoon where you like finally got away, and you come back and you just feel more refreshed. It makes an impact on your life. It makes an impact on how your children feel, but also how your relationship with your spouse is, how your relationship with your friends are, how your relationship with your family is. You're coming in with a new energy that is different, and you feel better, and you inspire and motivate the people around you. So I hope with all my heart that this training has been helpful. Thank you for being here. Please message me if you have any questions. You should have the links in your email that was sent to you for both options, but it's also on my sales page. If you cannot find any information, please respond to the email that you got about this video, and or reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. My name is Amanda Milliman, and it's Amanda, and then my last name is Millemon, and I'm also on Instagram. And so please, you feel free to follow me. And I love to see, I have a bunch of special needs moms in my feed. I also have a Facebook group that's called Self-Love for the Special Needs Mom. You could always request to be a part of that. And I try to post self-love support in there. And it's just all about self-love, self-help for the special needs mom. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and please reach out if you need anything or you have any questions.